Always records just a little bit. Hey, everyone here at the community. We're live once again with a rocky start. But hey, we're glad to be back. If you're tuning in, boy, I think Attilio and I are fired up this week to talk about some of these things.
Yeah, so we're talking about what's
Yeah.
working in the therapy space, what's making people move like 3 to 6 to 100 times faster than ever before, and I can't start today's topic without talking about focus first. I feel like that's the most necessary thing. When you want to move fast, when you want to move with power, you got to move with focus. And I think having someone tell you what to do oftentimes is an easiest way to get some focus. I don't know. What do you think, Josh?
No, I just want to say on this, just earlier today, 3 of the new practice owners who just joined our program this week, towards the start of this week, ended the week, and they just had incredible things to say, saying that they feel more clear, more focused, more energized at the direction they're headed than ever before. And the reason why they feel that way is because that is the root or is the grounding process for what will produce growth for them. And then if we look at practice owners who went through that experience, 2 months ago with us or 4 months ago, right? Rooted in that focus, where are we going? What are we focusing on? What are the leverage points that are going to produce the results that we want? So yeah, focus more than anything is what is working right now to produce growth in private practice owners' practices.
Yeah, beyond focus, I think like you can have a gentle touch. It's kind of like I know a lot of you guys are cat or dog people out there. For the cat people out there, you guys know especially this little 9-pound cat can push on you with its little paw, and you'll feel it because it's such a small point, right? That focus element is so important and in play. But then what's behind that focus? So you can have that like light little touch, even if you're doing like just a little bit of the right thing. It moves you in the direction much faster. It moves you in a direction much faster than doing just everything and not knowing what exactly you're doing. And so I think with that, the bigger piece to focus is having the path to success and having people who've been there or done that alongside you. Like, quite
Yeah.
frankly, I think so many practices this last week, I mean, just come to us from so many different places. But being able to kind of like shuffle the deck together, kind of compile it all together, and then start drawing from the same deck kind of makes a massive improvement. So focus and kind of organizing, I think, in a lot of ways, like
Yeah.
kind of getting all the weight put in one spot.
Yeah. I think one of the big things that we're seeing that is working right now inside of the clients that we're working with, I don't know, you tell me, Attilio, in the last four weeks, how many practice owners have hired like 2, 3, 4, 5 clinicians even just in the last like 4 to 8 weeks? Like so many practice owners have been having massive success in growing their team and generating cash as a result.
Yeah, when it's the right time to do for a group or for even just a solo taking the jump the first time. I mean, we typically see pretty resounding success like within even the first like week or so. People are hiring really quick, and when it's the right time to do it, we tell you to go all in on it because
Yeah.
it's a high leverage activity. So like some of our practices that are coming in maybe a little disorganized, and we'll just tell them, well, what's the goal? We'll do a couple steps on analysis or doing a quick audit, and then based on the audit, we can quickly say, hey, it's time to hire 4 therapists right now,
Yeah.
and that's going to reach your goal literally in a month or two.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so
and what's working in that, the way that we looked at is if you're at about 80% capacity for your team, great time to start moving the ball and building the hiring system. The other thing that's working for them is building a hiring system or a recruitment process, right? A full recruitment strategy. It's not just how do I fill out this next one person, right? Saying how do I get a consistent mechanism in place, right? So when they build a consistent mechanism to get high quality applications to them, it's producing, I saw one, they just hired 2 new therapists today. And, last week's, hired 3 therapists, whatever it is, because they have consistent inbound applications from building a recruitment process. That's what's working. So if you're saying, man, how do I grow my group practice? Well, have you built a consistent recruitment process? Do you know how? You want like our help with that, right? Amongst other things. What
Yeah.
yeah, what else is working?
I was just going to say to kind of complement it. So based on if you're in insurance or cash pay, there's certain things that need to happen first, right, before
Okay.
recruiting, and like insurance, it's almost easy to just say, hey, you want to be a group, you want to run insurance, great. Do you know how to do your credentialing, or do you know what the process is going to be? Okay, great, go hire. Like if you're at capacity, go hire. For cash pay, it's a little bit different. And so cash pay peeps in our program, the path is you write up the information for hiring if that's really the direction you want to go. But more importantly, you need to crack the code on marketing before. So
Yeah.
if you're not able to assign numbers to your marketing, aka the leads that are coming in and the amount of leads that come in create a certain number of new clients. If you can't assign a number to total leads, total closes, and that doesn't happen week one over week two over week three and ongoing, it's going to be really hard for you to have confidence on the recruiting process. And so it doesn't matter how good your recruiting is. It doesn't matter how strong your marketing is. It doesn't matter how strong the whole chicken and egg situation is. If you can't have numbers, you don't have the confidence. So if you don't have the confidence, you're not going to make the right decision at the right time. And so for the cash pay practices this last week, what that's looked like is put out a couple feelers for recruiting. Just because we're recruiting doesn't mean we have to be interviewing. And so once we have that just out, we move fast to crack the code on marketing and advertising. Because if you can't put $1 in and say I'm going to put $100 in and get out this amount of money from that, then you really don't have a system in place to consistently fill up new cash pay people.
Yeah.
So insurance gets the nice angle where they get to credential and basically have the panels fill you up, but that doesn't work for cash pay. So you have to have something in before.
Yeah.
So clarity, know what you're doing, then go after the problem and solve the problem aggressively. And by having focus, you get to solve the problems actually aggressively instead of trying to solve. Do I need an employee handbook right now? Do I need instead of trying to solve?
Yeah.
Do I need another location right now? What's going to be the thing that's going to move me forward?
Yeah, definitely.
So.
We this week as well, since putting out the position, the private practice success coach position as our team is growing, we had the pleasure to interview a number of people who have successfully gone through our program and are out the other side and have been, running their businesses. And many of them have been cash pay, charging 200, 250, 350 a session. And so I actually want to point out the thing that has continued to work for them 6 months, a year plus on the other side of our program when they're no longer working with us is a continued emphasis on sales, but specifically with the category of how do I, in my sales conversation, figure out how to give the client not the impression, but the confidence that I can fulfill, that I can help them with what they want and what they need from a therapist. That's what it all boils down to. When you're having that conversation with a potential client and they trust that you as a provider can help them solve their problem, and when they know with clarity what their need is, and that happens inside your sales interaction, that's a potent outcome for cash pay therapists. And that's the thing that several of them pointed to that they got from our program and carried with them in their sales process. So spending time developing a sales process and then learning that and executing on that is still to this day paying massive dividends for some of these practice owners that we've worked with.
Yeah, if you want to skate by, don't learn sales. If you want to skate by, if you want to have the bare minimum, if you want to be left in confusion, oftentimes for cash pay clinics, most of the time you don't get lucky with your listing sites that you're on. Most of the time you don't get lucky with the clientele that you're talking to, and it's because a lot of the marketplace wants you to accommodate them in the way that they want to be accommodated. And cash pay is kind of the exact opposite of that in a lot of cases, unless you know how to communicate and sell yourself.
Yeah.
And so I might drive it even a little bit deeper on the sales end. How are you communicating? Like what is the angles? What are the problems that you're solving in your copy, in your videos, in your whatever asset you have available for people to view you on, your website, your Site Today profile? How are you communicating that you understand the person?
Yeah.
By communicating your how much you understand, effectively you're telling them how likely they are to find success with you. In a lot of ways, the closer your communication is to what they're thinking, the more likelihood that they'll find, or I'm sorry, the higher likelihood that they will find that you will be the person that could help them. Wow, this person really got me. I think that they could help me, is
Yeah.
what they'll be thinking. And that's a great first step, especially for a cash therapist,
Yeah.
solo group, whatever.
I wasn't going to bring this up, but it actually just struck me as you were talking through that. I think the single biggest thing that we're seeing work for our solo and our group practice owners right now is them doing the work. Is them doing the work. And we have a lot of conversations with people who are hesitant to jump in with both feet on marketing or on sales or on their recruitment, right? They would rather figure out how to pay someone or bring on a vendor, bring on a specialist. And one of the things we're really passionate about is how do we empower clinicians with the information, with the structure, with the correct format to do it for themselves and to build an appropriate team around them to help do it, and them actually getting the ball rolling, starting and diving with both feet in is producing massive growth. I'm thinking of one practice owner that's the embodiment of it, who's hired, like 13 clinicians in the last 5 months, has added almost probably $50,000 of reoccurring revenue to our practice monthly, and just a massive executor. And she was always the one that she did it first. And even if it was a day later, a week later, a month later, got it off of her plate to continue to grow, which she did do a lot of that, and we helped her with that too. Um, she was like, no, I have to own this so I can appropriately build this out in my team. So I think if you're sitting here and be like, oh man, I wish I had more help, someone else doing the marketing or someone else making that decision. Like, I don't know how to do that. The practice owners we see grow the fastest just take what needs to be done by the bullhorns and jump in with both feet and do it.
Yeah. I don't know if I have anything else to add.
Yeah.
Guys, it's focus. It's focusing on the right things. It's doing the work and figuring it out. This week has truly inspired me to level up the program that we have going for all of you guys. And I'm feeling on fire. I know, Josh, you're feeling on fire. I don't have anything else for this live,
Yeah.
man.
I
Sure,
think I'll just end it on this. On a clarity level, we have what we call our seven-figure flow. This is the steps that a solo can take, all the way to a group practice can take, to have a six-figure and then ultimately a seven-figure business and beyond. The exact step process, the methodologies, the order of operations, the when, the what, the where, everything, and it's constantly being updated in real time by what's working and what's going to work best in the coming days. And there's a lot of different ways that we make that happen, and kind of, the magic behind the scenes, so to speak. So I just want to say, if you're someone who's saying, hey, I wish I had a clearer vision to get to seven figures, or to build out my solo practice, to answer some of the questions that you might be struggling with, shoot us a message, book a call, on the appropriate links, and that's what we're here for. So that's something that we consistently produce on, and we would love to help you see that outcome as well.
We'll see you guys next time.
Do more of what's working. Just
Faster.
yeah, it's like the opposite of like the thing you lost is always in the last place that you look. If you just do more of what works, more will work, right? But there's some truth to that, of like, look at what's working for other people and yourself and just do more of it.